Why, hello there, stranger. Welcome to the Spooky Chris podcast. My name is Chris Ringler. I am your aforementioned Spooky Chris. Hey, what's going on? Been a while as we enter into the creepy Halloween season. So, hey, it's Halloween 2022. What's going on? How you been? I just wanted to do a quick check-in. I'm hoping to do a for real episode sooner than later. It's harder, as it is with a toddler to find the time for all that Megillah. But I just wanted to check in and say, hey, Halloween is as if you've ever listened to the podcast or checked my blog out at spookychris.com, it is my favorite time of year. I'm a big Christmas person too. I mean, I love the holidays, but Halloween is kind of the one close to my heart. It's great for folks like me because it's the it's the one time of year that everyone kind of is a horror fan. It seems, or well, okay, everyone. A lot more folks are horror fans. It's the kind of time of year where if you are a hardcore stalwart, you get grumpy because all of these non-fans are suddenly fans and they're watching all the scary movies and getting all the facts wrong. Like, oh my God, like Freddy Krueger, when he's at that like camp and he's killing those people with like the chainsaw. Like, I get it. It's frustrating. As us fans have been there the whole time. But there's room for everybody at the table. There's room for all of us. And it's fun to kind of share the spooky season with everyone, and to shove over and share in our bounty. While most folks are this time of year going to watch the main, the standards, they're going to watch the stuff that the basic B stuff of Halloween, and some of them will throw Friday 13th in, which to me that's a summer franchise, or Nightmare on Elm Street, which it doesn't really fit a holiday, but like it doesn't seem like a Halloween kind of horror movie, but just horror movies are in vogue right now. So they'll watch those, and us hardcore fans will be watching the Trick or Treat, or even, deeper cut stuff that's out there, like say a Terrifier or something. But it's a great season, because we get a whole month plus of spooky stuff, Halloween, scary movies on everywhere, and everybody kind of trying to cash in on horror. Again, it gets frustrating, I'm sure, for the hardcore kind of punk rock fans that are just like, I'm here and I'm real. That's fine. I mean, hey, you do you. I am more than happy to have some folks joining us and appreciating it, because while a lot of these the folks that are just they're getting the sexy Freddy costumes and the Pennywise costume because they know the character for their Halloween parties. Once in a while you'll get somebody who is gonna become a fan, who's gonna realize, like, oh geez, this is actually great stuff. Like, there's a great stuff in this genre and I love it. And that's what I hope. That's what I think we should all hope, is that there's folks that are discovering that, because we want to see a day when it's commonplace to see a horror movie up for best director, best actor, best screenplay, best film, all the way down the line. It shouldn't just be the technical awards, because I mean, we all know, all of us horror fans know that the actors, like, there's some astounding acting going on in some of these movies. Like, yeah, there's terrible acting. There's the, oh my God, don't kill me. But there's also amazing actors that are acting against props, green screens, someone in makeup, someone that's not there. In the case of ghost movies, you're seeing just amazing work, and once in a while you'll get begrudging, like, so and so was very good in it, but it still is a horror movie and not a period piece about someone who lost their ear in the war and tried to get back to their daughter. it's because of what it is. It doesn't get appreciated as much. And I mean, really, that's kind of that we don't tend to mind it, and we have to embrace horror is a popcorn genre. In saying that, there's some genuinely delicious gourmet popcorn in that bucket, amongst the oversalted, overbuttered stuff from the 99-cent store. And I think the mainstream forgets that there are just as many trash dramas that are plugging in, they're punching buttons that, like, oh, this is about someone with disability. Punch. This one's about race relations. Punch. This one's about someone discovering their sexuality. Punch. Where it's not a sincere message of someone to really want to change hearts and minds and or anything. They're punching buttons because they know that they can get acclaim and notice and awards. And in the same way that while there are lots of horror films that are just like topless women getting cut up and like blood splashed everywhere to hide the lack of a story, there are also movies like A Hereditary, which has many levels to it, great acting, and really, really is striking and sticks with you. I didn't even love Midsummer, and I'm sure like a lot of folks, well, it's not a horror film. It's a horror film. But I didn't love it, but there's so many aspects. It's wonderfully directed. It's gorgeous to look at. It's an interesting story. It's got good acting. So like there's great stuff in all of the genres. Westerns were another one that was the cowboy genre, and none of it's any good. It's just people go, like kids go and they play shoot 'em up. Then you get a movie like Unforgiven or The Wild Bunch or any number of ones. Like for that genre, that subgenre, a lot of the popcorn ones are just, a lot of them are lost to the ages. It kind of moved to TV, and that's still around. But the hey, you put up your hands, I ain't gonna do that, and they have a sweet little shoot up, bang 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 bang, and the good guy always wins, and he rides off on his horse, and the woman of the town like, oh, he was so handsome. That's not really seen anymore. The darker aspects of westerns are out there now. Much like we don't see as many kitschy musicals anymore. They're more kind of like high concept, big, because they're so expensive to make. But you don't get a Repo these days, not really, or a Cannibal the Musical. But this is a great time. We need to embrace that and applaud it, and not be upset because there's folks at the table that that aren't going to be here, turn of November. And that's okay, because they'll be back next year. I worry more about the folks that are so anti-Halloween that they want to turn it all into trunk or treats, and it's all going to be a fall festivals. I worry more about that. Because that's a drag, and I get it. With the weather changing like it has, it's hard to take kids out. So trunk or treats are kind of where it's at least it's something. But Halloween is so healthy for all of us, to tap into the creative side, to dress up, to explore our imagination, to pose what ifs. Ooh, what if I was a vampire? What if I was a zombie? And again, there's always lazy people that are just gonna, they're gonna last minute and just buy whatever's available, and that's fine. They're still participating. It's the folks that are idiots and want to like wear Native American garb and or dress in blackface, that kind of stuff where it's like it's wrong, you don't care it's wrong, and you're gonna get mad when someone calls you out on it and say that like their woke politics is ruining everything. It's that stuff was never okay. People just didn't know what to say about it. Like it's like But I hope we don't lose Halloween. Schools have to change because they're very religious. Like they can't be religious, And I get it. And while I love Halloween and Christmas and all that, like it's not fair to. There's so many religions and kids that don't celebrate any religion. It's not fair to say it's Christmas. Everyone celebrate Christmas because I mean, while I don't celebrate the Christian version, it is a Christian holiday, and at the heart of it is the story of the birth of Christ. And just like it wouldn't be fair to say, oh, everybody celebrate Rosh Hashanah, everybody celebrate Kwanzaa, everybody celebrate like you should learn the schools. If in my heart of hearts, what I'd like to say is the schools like really doing a end of year celebration that honors all of those traditions, and has a little bit of flavor of all of them. That would be the best way to do it. Is because celebrating the end of the year is still like it's still like New Year's Eve and stuff. It's still something, and with so many holidays at that time, it's a great time to do it, and to really just kind of have fun. Kids don't get enough fun these days. There's so much stress and terror around the world right now that it's nice to see, just to have these times to really just cut loose and have fun. And Halloween is one of those times. It has become a not really religious day anymore. The days of old, it's not the same. Now, while Wiccans and other religions celebrate it, Satanists and stuff, it's not in the mainstream. It is not much like Santa Claus is kind of the face of Christmas, for good or ill. It's up to you. The jack-o'-lantern is the face of Halloween and not the religious iconography that it had once upon a time. So I mean, it's whatever. It's up to people, like what they want to do. But I hope we don't lose. It's one of those holidays I hope we don't lose. Adults love it because they can go and party and get all dressed up and blah blah blah. It's another excuse to party. But it's so important for kids, and that's why one of those things, like folks will complain that there's too many PG-13 horror movies or whatever, and it's like, no, like that's not a bad thing. Gateway horror is important. One of the touchstone scary movies as a kid for me was Something Wicked This Way Comes, and it still has like has a deep impact in my in my love of horror and stuff. And we need those kind of gateway, Lady in White kind of movies, that aren't too over the top, but to get kids interested and like in a safe way, and then go, oh, I kind of like being scared. I like this creativity of it, and you kind of talk about it, and you kind of just like show them. With our daughter, I hope she's into that stuff. If she's not, she's not, but I hope she is. And this is a great time of year to do it. And again, I don't have to like all of the Disney scary, goofy, like musical content they do for Halloween, but again, it's gateway content. Mr. Boogedy and Bride of Boogedy were two big ones as a kid for me when they were on TV. I recorded them. I got rips of them off of offline ages ago, and I still love them both. So I hope we don't lose this holiday as we kind of just shrug off everything. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because there's so much money being made off of Halloween. There's so much consumerism involved. I don't know what it'll transform into. I kind of wish friend groups would, go around to one another's houses with their kids, or even adults trick-or-treating at one another's houses. Like, I think trick-or-treating is such a fun thing. I never understood the angst over, like, later teens trick-or-treating. Just, as long as they dress up and don't cause any mischief, and they're just into it, like, who cares? I went until I was 18, I think. Yeah, no, I was about 18. Well, 17. We'll say 17, because, so I was 17. So, I don't know. People get uptight about everything. They get uptight about who likes their pet thing and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, just have fun. It's Halloween season. I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure what to think. I didn't love the middle chapter, but I also think we need the whole thing together to know how it all plays. I appreciate anybody taking chances. Like that's why I like the Rob Zombie versions. Is they're not what we expected. I read a great quote from David Gordon Green about the new ones, and about how you know if you give somebody what they want, it's either not going to work exactly like they. It's not going to like I want Freddy to fight like Leatherface and like Jason. That's not a movie. Like they did Freddy versus Jason, and they had to construct a whole lot of stuff around them to get to the fun of them fighting. You can't just have essentially like a horror kind of a porn where it's just them fighting for the whole thing. That's not a movie. That's a video game. But like fans just see that aspect of it. Like I want Michael to do this and that. Cool. Well, what's the whole story? Well, I don't know. It's easy. Just make it up. Yeah, okay. It's not that easy. So I appreciate people just kind of making their own bones and kind of going their way and capturing the spirit of it. Which, sorry, Rob Zombie movies captured the spirit. They were not like the original, but we have the original. The original is done. There is no other John Carpenter out there. Like, he is him. His movies are uniquely his own. There's other great directors, but, like, thinking someone was going to come in, like, the closest you got was Halloween 2, and it was basically just a more violent retread. And I love Halloween 2, but I mean that's what you get. So you could have had more of those, I guess. Which hooray! Just watched the first one, but I'm excited for it. I'm actually gonna try to watch the new Hellraiser today, so we'll see how that goes. I am optimistic. It's I don't know. Those movies got to be so mediocre. I stopped after 4. And I just couldn't go back because they were just so mediocre. They were literally plug and play. Like put Pinhead in, have a bunch of other ones, have the box, have some weird sex stuff, and then have people pulled apart. It's like I don't know. Like people are. I've seen reviews. They're like, well, it's decent, but it's not the first one. It's like we forget how revolutionary the first one was. There had not been a horror movie like that, that mixed the iconography and ideas of sadomasochism and bondage and domination, and the idea of pain bringing pleasure, and then these striking demons, and a great villain turned by Doug Bradley as Pinhead. I mean, he captured lightning in a bottle, and he's Barker was the guy to do it because he knew the story backwards and forward. That's why it's funny. People would get upset that there would be a female, quote unquote female, Pinhead, because in the book and stuff, in the story, it is, I mean, they're kind of unsexual. They're very feminine. And they call him, I think they are called the engineer. But it's not, they just happened to, you got to choose, one or t'other, I guess, back then. And they chose, Doug Bradley, and he did a great role. So, I mean, change isn't bad, man. And if you're not into it, just go watch the first one. I mean, shoot, the first 2.5 are good. Like, I like the third one, but the first 2.5, we'll say, because some of it's pretty corny in the third one. But you got 2 really good ones initially. So, I mean, I'll see what I see. I did not like the Munsters at all. Gosh, I admire Rob Zombie for doing his thing. He loves that he loves that show. You can tell that is a film made with tons of love, and with a no budget. It's gorgeous. Like the sets are gorgeous, the costumes are gorgeous. Like I admire some of the acting in it. Everybody gave their all. It was just the story was corny. It comes off as corny. The camera work was I just couldn't stand it. Like it was all like handheld, and it just didn't fit. To me, I think the big problem with all of this and with that franchise is it is. Whereas Amsterdam was dry wit, like very black humor, Munsters was cornier, was much more slapsticky kind of corny stuff, and I don't know that it translates. I think you will either love Munsters if you just get into it and go in. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so goofy, but this is great. They had so much fun. This is really fun. It's about Lily and Herman meeting and falling in love and all of that, and how the Munsters came to America and blah blah blah. for me, it didn't work at all. I think Rob Zombie needs a low key, because he can't get the budgets. Bless his heart. But low key, like character thing, kind of Devil's Rejectsy, but it doesn't even have to be horror, but just very simple, and just kind of show what he can do with actors and dialogue and just shooting interesting things without handheld, blah blah blah. But so that's where we're at. I hope you are well, my little friend. I am Spooky Chris. I will be back sooner than later. Dig on my new theme song, my new intro outro. I got one. A guy on Fiverr named Ross Grimson did it, and it's pretty dope. I'm really excited to throw that on here. But yeah, I am Chris Ringler, the aforementioned Spooky Chris. You can find all of my podcasts and my blog and my reviews and everything else at spookychris.com. And I will talk to you, my friend, soon. Take care.